did take out the Phobius and the carry from the options, which then leads us to, I guess, opening up the roam options earlier that were mostly banned out. The Matildas, the Atlas.
Is this early trauma?
Oh yeah.
Like, carry instantly banned out? That's not a hero that we usually
never
see
mind.
being banned out, first phase, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is SAETA only limited to carry? Because I don't see another reason why that first phase you would go for a carry.
Yeah, and more importantly, the Carmilla has been a staple ban too. Like, I wonder where this really came from. The fact that they just really wanted to take it out a lot of times. So, okay, we're seeing a Paquito priority come into play immediately in the first pick, but SAETA does Jessica play the Esmeralda? Do they really want to go that route immediately? Even for Red 3 later on, let's say if they just really want to keep their options open, because I think there are a lot of other priorities you can also go for at this point. There's no carry left, but the Eve seems like a safer pick. How about the Claude, just to make sure that there won't be any counters? Okay, they go for the Esmeralda immediately too. At least you have a guaranteed winning matchup in the lane.
And we finally get to see what the Esmeralda has to offer, right? With how many buffs she was given in the Scarlet Embers patch. We're wondering, how OP is this Esmeralda? Because everyone really is talking about her. You were talking about the Claude earlier on. That's definitely something they can bring out. It's not going to be as simple because technically you are in a winning position because you're up against the Eve. So it's definitely something that I think Falcons need to consider. But the fact that we have a Paquito on one side, does this also signify that they're not going to go for an assassin in the jungle?
Oh, that's gonna be, especially if they go for that damage bit of the Paquito, then that'll compromise the sustain of their lineup a bit.
Exactly.
I am concerned though, Jessica, being as good as she was in game number 1, going into game 2, a guaranteed win on the EXP lane, especially with Esmeralda, who currently is OP. That is a big boon for the side of SAETA Esports, and Falcons Indonesia, in my opinion, are already behind.
Oh, okay, this is interesting too. So we might expect majority of the damage to really come from Gai without the carry pick. I feel like they're confident enough still. So this might just take away the fact or the theory that carry is one of her main or special picks if they're going Baksha jungle. Or is it Baksha jungle?
It should be.
Do you think
there is a chance that it could be flex?
In the roam?
It can be flex into the roam.
Because it was picked after the high loss, Jusin. So like those are really high mobility heroes. Look at that. SAETA also taking out the X-Borg, a hero they played in their very own qualifiers as well.
Which is why I think Baxi is going in the jungle.
Jungle, yeah. If they're taking out X-Borg, okay.
Do you think that we're living in a world where Paquito can go jungle? I mean, it was meta before.
Or are they forcing it to...
It could be possible, but technically Fredrin's still up for grabs. The Akai basically hasn't seen the light of day as well.
Because I remember there was a time too where high loss could have been in the EXP lane.
We remember that. Yeah. We remember that meta.
There's just so much possibilities if we're talking patches way back. But if we were to follow what we're commonly seeing nowadays, then we are indeed expecting the Baksha to go into jungle. But what does Gai pick up then eventually later on? Because I feel like Falcons ID also sense that they might just put it in the jungle, so they're taking out some of the other options that could just really put out the damage that's needed from SAETA. But if that's the case, shouldn't they be taking out the Claude as well? Because SAETA's picking up first after the second banning phase.
What's the idea here?
Yeah.
They're put in a tough position as well. Like, how big is that hero pool that you opt to go for the Moscow ban? Unless,
or do they feel like Gai doesn't play Claude?
It could be that, or are they going to put something unique in the gold lane? Maybe an unconventional gold laner?
What else is there? If we're talking Shred, there's an Obsidia, but there's again a Paquito.
I mean, Freya is still up for grabs.
But then that leaves you with an almost all-fighter
Freya
lineup.
Against Esme, I don't think you want to do that as well.
Okay, does the SAETA consider the Claude here? Or do they have other options up their sleeve? Because we're thinking that the Baksha is going into the jungle, They already have an Esmeralda and Eve. So much space created. There you go. They indeed decide to pick up the Claude. The other remaining matchups are honestly... it's a bit tough to Harith into the Eve and the Baksha.
Yeah, I was about to
Maybe
say.
not.
I think the most 50-50 would be the Harith, but
It's a Baksha Eve.
it's a Baxia Eve.
What else is left? I feel like Liv will have to bring out something.
Do you want to play like risky early game? Like the Grangers of the world?
Or do they want to like switch it up? Put Paquito in gold if you don't want to go up against the Esmeralda and put something else in EXP.
Well, we're thinking about it really hard, and it looks like they are thinking about it really hard as well. They're taking their dear time. That is a hero that we have not seen in a while. That is Hanzo and the Iritel.
Hey.
Unconventional drafts.
And could this be Falcons Indonesia reaching deep into their bags to try and defeat SAETA Esports, who surprised them so much in map 1?
I have a feeling there might be a chance because it doesn't feel like a typical Game 2 draft in a best of 3. It feels more best of 1. It feels more...
Well, technically, if you think about it, they're already down 1-0. They lose one more. They're
That's
going to
true.
loser bracket. They got to commit everything.
It's a do or die for Team Falcons ID, at least if they don't want to go to the lower bracket and have only a single life left. And say to close it out with a Tigreal. Okay, how could you just go in?
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I mean, the one thing that Falcons ID have in their cards is the fact that there's really nobody to kind of look around for the Hanzo. I guess Esmeralda will have to be able to look for that.
Yeah. Okay, I still feel like Team Falcons ID can definitely play around with how unorthodox their draft is currently. The Iritel in the lane can, I think, manage the Claude if we were to follow like the more previous times we've seen an Iritel into a Claude matchup. If it's just laning that we're talking about. But the Iritel moving around these heroes, a Baksha, an Eve, an Esmeralda.
I mean,
that's
she
the
has
tough
movement
part.
speed, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? With we're playing with movement speed and boxes, Iritel should be able to do it.
Well, it's definitely a fun hero selection, and now it's time to move into map number 2. Athena, Mirko, take it away.
Thank you so much to the studio. A great analysis so far, man. Hey, yeah, this is definitely an unorthodox draft. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. We're seeing a lot more picks, and this is exactly why we've been talking about the Hanzos, the steals early on, and though not aware of it on the Baksha. It's already such a slow clearing jungle. Tries to go for the top lane straight up. A level 2 dive or a level 2 gank attempt here. And with no buff, I don't even know if they can actually walk up to take what a Falcons buff. This is just going to be a big lead to Sev early on.
Well, let's see. One game at a time here for Team Falcons ID. As they've mentioned, that it's kind of like their composition is built for a BO1. They're already down 1 point, and they wouldn't want it any other way to go back onto the lower bracket. Now for SAETA Division, on the other hand, I feel like they wouldn't really react that much onto that Hanzo being picked up here for Falcons ID, because we've mentioned that they don't really had to necessarily shut him down. They just have to be really careful, stick to their guns, stick to the plan, which is to farm up as much as they can, and the Tigreal will do the rest when it comes to someone invading them or attempt to invade their jungle here for SAETA Division.
Really wonder if Zoe's actually even going to get level 4 before this first turtle. Guy in the bottom lane, losing out. Liv has actually gone for a very aggressive emblem choice. A Master Assassin down below. Knowing that Guy is weak side, he's trying to punish her even more.
Oh?
And Zoe will try to rotate down below. She actually did get level 4, so this is A-okay still. You're not losing out on too much, despite that early orange buff take by Sev. Zoe's going to try to go for the shield unity.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. That for Zoe, they just have to stick to what they know best. Try to be stoic here for our game number 2. Raimundo onto the front. Flicker was forced out of Name. Fanwa getting in on the right, but the Vitalize activated as well. Trying to survive here is Raimundo. But Zoe with a shield unity in terms of sides already activated. But trying to run away, being blocked over the corner here, offered neutral objective. Name yet again will get the first blood. Same goes for what happened from the previous game.
Oh no, the targeting is all over the place. It looks so good for Falcons ID.
Yeah.
They went in, but they just had different targets in mind. SAETA, their composition that really thrives in that position where they can actually delay and sustain through the initial damage from Falcons ID, and they just had no idea who to target together. It really just feels like a big disconnect between the team. Turtle 1 going to SAETA with the Baksha, a hero that we just didn't expect to be meta after the nerfs coming into this patch. With a Hanzo stealing her orange buff early as well. This is a disastrous early game for Falcons ID.
It's not like... This is not the same Falcons ID that we've seen compete on a triple elimination, surviving that game hers from way back in Indonesia. And now, for SAETA Division, they're just showing how much they want to stay in the lane. Okay, Glorious Party already activated. Liv will get the kill. That's numerous members down here for SAETA Division. Jessica 66 keeps them at bay. Liv right now cannot do some follow-ups. Nami with a free hit. Valid crawl onto the RWM, trying to run away. Jessica 66 hot on her tail right now. And it looks like she will be able to get back. Now Falcons got another punch in from SAETA.
And it's the same story again, Athena. It's all about Falcons initiating first, being the proactive team, but then losing track of the win condition. They go in, they use all their resources, but SAETA, they want that to happen. It's all about the longer team fights where they can abuse some of those resources being spent already. And look at the zone coming in from Fanhua. Liv has the Purify, but I don't know if she wants to burn it.
Oh, maybe. But let's see, Fanwa being cornered here, Flicker, and now we see has been exhausted. For Falcons, on the other hand, we see them try to attempt numerous fight, but that's it. For SAETA Division, they just go ahead and trust their instincts when it comes to Nami committing that very nice box around them, and Jessica 66 always on top of things, preventing the very great rest pool here for Team Falcons. Now, objective up.
Violet.
Half an HP left. Violet onto the back line, targeted Nami. Nami will still survive. Onto the front yet again. Seb with a ninjutsu, Pinnacle Ninja, not able to even get the objective. It's SAETA yet again taking the upper hand.
2 red trees, and it's Fanhua on the Tigreal.
What?
Do a lot of damage with the implosion, and I think it was like 3 patches ago. Jessica, though, there's no one that can actually handle Jessica. She can actually just be all up in there, under turret, no problem whatsoever. So has the Vengeance too. Chef's just tickling her.
Look, she's kind of enjoying the attention that Falcons ID is giving onto her. And imagine, she is considered the X factor for SAETA Division. Definitely she is. With an X painted on her back, she doesn't even care.
It's looking rough for Falcons ID. They got to regroup somehow. It's not like they have the best late game too when it comes to just pure team fights. SAETA wants to play the tempo toe with a dive.
Okay, that's very nice, Glorious Pathway. Although there was an implosion play here immediately for Fanwa and Joey. Now we see Gaige just going with the free hits. Now the Blazing Duet activated. All those bullets coming in hot here for Falcons ID. It's going to be the Soul Snare, enough stacks, but they have to try and run away. Fanwa onto Livy, hot on her tails. They get the kill. Now Liv is the next target here, but SAETA Division, they already got most of the kills, got an advantage, and Jessica 66 goes on her day, just clearing up the last bits of waves onto each lane.
They've got all the winning matchups, and they can dictate the tempo of the fights. They started first, and it just creates so much confusion within Falcons ID. Again, we see the targeting all over the place. Livy, Crimson Beacon forward, went onto Guy, but Sev wanted a different target. Everybody is going for their own 1v1s, and it just doesn't look good for Falcons ID, who are already a game down. SAETA are putting Chinese MLBB on the map. Imagine that. First match, opening of MWI 2026, and a win against a Titan.
Oh! It's Livian again! My God! What a great setup here for Fanwa! Now we're talking. Now we see why they've built from scratch instead of just buying a whole new set of organization. From building to scratch, now they've got this blueprint. A wonderful standard here for MLBB Chinese, especially on the FE division, right? They're setting a whole new face here on MWI. And it doesn't look like their first rodeo. It's actually looking like a huge contender for the crown this year.
Chef can't even deal damage to Fanhua. Fanhua's just taking it. They're going for the poke again. Seb's trying her best to do the best she can. She's the only one on the team who's still deathless. And it's just harsh to say, but right now, SAETA are gapping Falcons ID. The Sea Halberd first item to try to deal with Jessica. Still not enough though for Violet. Livy's going up as well. No glowing one. So they're just that's no wonder. They're relying on just the Sea Halberd from Violet so far to actually deal with the sustain coming in from SAETA. That's why they can do whatever they want.
Yep. Leaf only has a Haskell. Understandable. And that's why it couldn't even deal a lot of damage here onto SAETA Division. Now they're chasing Raimundo. They don't care. Even if it's the tankiest of them all. They've got enough damage to totally shred them into pieces. Chassis Pole Drone as well here for Jessica 6'6". The problems just keeps on piling up here for Falcons ID.
She's dealt with the wave so well. Now she goes up top again. Shev will get a turret, but that's about it. Now it's a 1v1 against Jessica. She gets away with the Pinnacle Ninja. There's just no one that can deal with Jessica. That's the problem right now. All the battle spells are up. We're waiting. This is the calm before the storm. A big one that can actually be SAETA's first win in the tournament. A loss to the Titan in Falcons ID. A purple buff take by SAETA. They're getting control over. Shev has already used the Retribution, and it seems like Zoe will try to go into the bottom lane. They had vision on a few of those members. Raimundo might just be the sacrifice for Liv to get out.
They're willing to commit even with the Revitalize. They just take the bait. That's another additional kill here for SAETA Division. And as you've mentioned, Jessica 6'6", the full responsibility was that to somehow zone them out and of course try to spot where Sev will come from. But now, she has multiple responsibilities and she's doing stellar at her performance. Now, another objective is up. Joe as well is starting off smart here. Violet on the back, but I feel like it's too risky to contest this Lord up into the hands of SAETA Division. And now, Sev with a ninjutsu, Pinnacle Ninja, already exhausted their ultimate. Lures pathway here for Raimundo. Is that the opening that they want? But Gaigai with a blazing do it, hitting on to the right marks. The Falcons ID slowly crumbling down. Lord as well will be stalling off here by Lev. Violet with a shutdown kill. Is it the turnaround that they need to actually contest this fight? But no, SAETA Division has their eyes on the prize. They don't even care if you get that Lord as much as they want to get that. As long as they get the kill and advantage, they'll take it.
They got the team fight. They were able to, again, prolong the team fight, play around the carries. Name, she did get taken down, but she bought enough time for the rest of the team to follow it up. And man, clean retry, I guess. No, that was a heavy crossbow and a few shots coming in from Liv. Great take on the Lord. We take a look at it again, and it was just so constantly CC'd. Already caught in the midst of it all. Taken very low. Thrown back by Livy on the juice in. And Liv, she didn't even go for the target on the Lord. It was a hit onto Fanhua. She dashed away towards the Lord, and the AoE of the heavy crossbow hits got the Lord stolen for Falcons ID. They're playing with just a tad bit of luck here so far, but again, SAETA have just been the more calculated Fanhua!
That's two members caught here inside the box here for Nami with the RWM. Very nice pickup here for SAETA Division. Raimundo falling down here low. Trying to run away. And now they have to back away. SAETA Division with that immediate responses. Very beautiful implosion plays so far here for game number 2.
These implosions have been brutal. Nothing they can say about it, even with the Purifies. You use it and it's an instant blazing duet. An RWM, layers upon layers of CC and damage. They get a trade at least. With the enhanced minions up top with the Lord, they're able to get a trade, but still, it's a tier 2 in the mid lane. Now it's SAETA. It's up to them to try to close this one off. Falcons ID, they haven't looked too good in the last 2 games, but they're a team that can show up in the middle of the game as they continue to scale. They're doing some damage on Zoe.
Okay, maybe now we could finally see some great responses for Team Falcons. I also saw the Malefic Gun ready build up here for Liv. So additional range here.
Violet
would be what we expecting. Violet being caught here by Gaigai and Jessica 6'6". Flicker already activated here. He needs to be really careful Joe just sponsor all out here, but Name gets caught here by Sev. That's a really great trade-off here for Team Falcons. Violet just buying enough time for them to actually pick up some of the members here for SAETA Division.
The shining star of Falcons ID,
gosh.
Violet, soaring past the skies on the Paquito, juking everybody, invading those crucial resources. Flicker out for Guy. Got Zoe in a tough spot as a frontliner so that Name can be vulnerable, and Falcons took advantage of that. It's always been chaotic throughout these games, but now that they have the items to actually go for whoever they want, it's starting to actually work out. Falcons ID, they're in their comfort zone right now. They can finally start to break that front to back that SAETA have relied on in the past 2 games. Chev, though.
Oh, but still, it's all about exhausting their battle spreads or even ulti. They'll take it. And now, still Raimundo being caught. Lures pathway just to disengage.
Jessica.
The last bits of the RWM will hit him. But Jessica 6-6 will just zone out Violet. Oh, but Sev on the other hand will still go in against 5 members here for SAETA. Placing the way here for Guy. Violet will go down. Double kill again for Guy, making the triple kill. Liv and Sev are the only ones left, but not for long because Jessica 6-6 still has her eyes here on the Liv. Sev is the only woman left here, and looks like SAETA Division or SAETA Esports wants to finish off this game 2 as fast as they can.
We've waited a long time for China to make their show on the international stage. This might be it!
And this time, they want to put their names on top of the list, and SAETA will ensure the 2-0 sweep against Indonesia's finest. This is Chinese MLBB onto the main stage. Wow.
What a way to do it. What a way to put China on the map for MLBB. A win against a Titan in the women's division. MWI has just started with a big surprise, a big bang.
They came in hot with guns blazing. What a way to start off the first day of MWI at EWC.
What a fantastic performance. Again, it really looked like they gapped Falcons ID. There's no other way to sugarcoat it, no other way to put it. SAETA were just better across these 1v1s. Even adapting through the game, we saw a few of those adaptations for Violet, for Sev. But again, the instant response from